What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Hunter Call the Wild. Today, we are going to do Te Awaroa, New Zealand. This is another map that I recommend for beginners. Simply because, again, the creatures don't get too big, and by the time you get to Te Awaroa, by the end of Te Awaroa, you should be able to get a weapon that can shoot Class 8 animals, which you'll need for the moose. So let's get started.
Kia ora. No mai haere mai ki Aotearoa. Welcome to New Zealand and to Te Awaroa National Park. This little slice of paradise is teeming with creatures big and small, and more adventures than you'll find on any movie screen or storybook. Now, I've lived out here in the Wop Wops all my life and never wanted for anything else. In fact, it's practically in my blood. This place and my family go way back. Things have been a little tricky lately, though. It's fast becoming somewhere I don't recognize anymore, and I don't like it. That's why I dragged you out here, Ehoa. With your help, we're going to wean ourselves off outside money and make Te Awaroa a model for sustainability the entire South Island can get behind. Right, let's get moving. Glad to see you've arrived in one piece. Josh is my nephew. He just got his license, and I swear that kid spends more time with his hands on the radio dials than on the steering wheel. I hope he didn't talk your ear off. I've had to rely on him a lot lately since my legs started acting up again. I was planning to head out and meet you today, but here I am at home, propped up on 5 kinds of pillows. Doctor's orders. Anyway, that's enough chit-chat from me. Head over to the outpost marked on your hunter mate and let's get you started. I hope you had a chance to spend some quality time on your own before I rang you up. Your mate, Alejandra, said the two of you were here on holiday? She had nothing but praise for you, by the way. Said you almost single-handedly turned things around for her in Cuatro Colinas. Well, naturally I have pretty high expectations, but let's take our time getting to know each other first. I'll admit that it wasn't just her recounting your heroic antics that made me pick up the phone. She said you were, and I quote, stoic, practical, and probably born out in the bush somewhere. Just what I was looking for, in other words. Not far now. We built these outposts in the early 90s. They got the works, repurposed materials, solar roofs, rainwater tanks. That was back when people used to just call you a hippie. Now everything's sustainable, clean, green, eco-friendly. Hippies? Ha! Try trailblazers. And good for the environment doesn't have to mean bad for your back. It's pretty cozy inside. Go on, take a look. See, we got company. That'll be Josh's doing, the brat. I told him to leave things be, but I guess he couldn't resist. Anyway, maybe it's just as well you get used to it. I'll fill you in later. Right, mate? See that camera on the table? Strap it to your chest and let me explain what exactly you're here for. There's a lookout tower not far away, so you can head up there and get a sense of the place while I flap my gums. Nice and tight now. Wouldn't want it coming off right when you've got a shot lined up. So, the plan. I want to turn this place into a year-round retreat for hunters like you and Alejandra. So I don't spend most of the year worrying about whether our native plants are going to get overrun by deer again. There's a lot of filmmaking talent out here, and it hasn't been put to good use lately, if you ask me. So we're going to make a commercial, show the world there's more to New Zealand than haka and halflings. And who better to demonstrate the thrill of the chase than an experienced hunter like yourself? See, Awaroa's prime was back in the 80s. Most of the other hunters out here are equally long of tooth. We need someone young, new, dynamic. You. The camera will do most of the work, so you just have to make sure it's on when you head out to hunt. We have a couple of strategic locations on our list to get through. But let's get you that view first. There's the lookout tower, just up ahead. Just take that in. Spectacular, isn't it? This eastern area's all rolling hills and conifers. There's a line of mountains in the centre of the reserve. Oh, and native beech forest. And a lot of rain on the other side. Right, so remember Josh's little prank? This place doesn't receive a lot of government funding, unfortunately, and a couple of years ago we were running out of money for field research, and the outposts were in need of sprucing up. So I guess you could say we made a deal with the devil, the Hollywood devil to be exact. Long story short, they've just wrapped up filming for the final movie they were contracted to do. Some fantasy thing, shiny blade or shimmering dagger or something. Tricky little fella, eh? If at first you don't succeed and all that, you'll get the next one. Now let me check. Resplendent sword. I'll send you the blurb they gave me. My nephew tells me it's a big deal, but I'd certainly never heard of it before this. But yeah, as nice as it is that Te Awaroa's beauty is up on the silver screen for all to see, it's come with its share of problems, to say the least. The bigwigs left in a hurry, and we got left with a bunch of basically intact movie sets scattered here and there all over the reserve. Well, I'm telling you all of this because Josh just rang me up and said that he spotted another set on his way back, not far from where I wanted you to try filming your first hunt. Could I trouble you to go clear it out? We can't run the risk of any of the props from the film featuring in our footage. Cheers. Oh, what a mess. If I'd known this was going to happen, I never would have agreed to it. This isn't even the worst of it. Right, let's take it one by one. Just bundle them into crates and I'll get someone to swing by later and transport them out of the reserve. Are those real oranges? Good enough to eat, eh? Quite the medieval fair. Looks more than a bit incongruous out here if you ask me. I hope it didn't have an actual fire in that thing. Imagine if some silly townie kid had wandered over here and decided it would be a good idea. That's the last of them. What's that note? Props list. Foam statue of haughty elf standing prow, 9 foam warriors, 8 golden goblets, 3 green screens. This reads like a Christmas carol. See any of those? A bit dodgy. Townies must have been up here. Well, even though this isn't our mess to clean up, I should probably ask around and see if anyone knows what's happened to the missing props. The last thing we need is to get blamed for this. Maybe they did a very selective sweep. I'll see if anyone has a bigwig's numbers. Thanks for your help, Iho. Let's move on. Before you head off and film your hunts, first we've got to set the scene, so to speak. The marketing team's looking for some photos for the reserve website. Something to give people a taste of what this place has to offer. We got a little overly reliant on these tentpole releases. Well, I say more tents and fewer releases. Does that work? Nah, you're right. Now that we've dealt with that bloody mess, you think you could head over to Lake Wakaiti and snap a few shots for us? There's a willow tree there growing right out of the water that all the influencers or whatever they call themselves go bonkers for. It does make for a good photo op, I'll give it that. This is one of the hunting spots my mentor used to take me out to. Bound to be something worth stalking in the area. If you're wondering why there's no one around, it's because the reserve is officially closed to visitors for the foreseeable future. And definitely conducting emergency field research, we said. If that's what it takes to get the day trippers to clear out for a hot minute, so be it. I swear I haven't seen this place so deserted in about 10 years. Ah, it's lovely, actually. Even if I can only experience it through you. We used to camp out here when I was little. Tramp over from the other side. Me and a gaggle of other kids carrying backpacks bigger than our whole bodies. Not much of that lifestyle left these days. I miss it sometimes. Don't fall in now. Wouldn't be the first time that's happened here. Running low. The outposts have ammo of all kinds and more besides. That'll do. It's looking well. We had some hoon try to saw off one of the branches a few weeks ago. Can you believe? But luckily someone managed to talk him out of it. Sometimes wedding parties will have the brides come up and sit on it. Wade right into the water and soak those dear dresses. That tree is 80 years old. Started off as a stray branch nailed to a fence. It's a tribute to tenacity, if you ask me. Right, now for our next destination. Head down to the shoreline. There's a set of huge boulders there that have to be seen to be believed. I know what you're thinking. She's showing me some rocks. But trust me on this one. Our beaches are buzzing with natural activity. At least they used to be. You get more and more rubbish washed up all over the place lately. You know, bits of plastic pellets, runoff from factories further north. I swear I've seen tin cans with Australian brand names. We do our best, but we can't always prevent the poor critters ending up with junk in their bellies. Anyway, that's the situation. I'll get back to you when you arrive. Just gonna head off for a minute and make some tea. I don't really get why people fall over themselves trying to get slightly different variations of the same photo. Why can't they just stand back and enjoy it?
Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this episode. Miss Kari, our warden here, she has us doing a lot of zigzagging through this map at the beginning. Currently, yeah, there's a lot of zigzagging to be done. So I'm not going to take you through all of that. Well, you're not going to see all the walking around. But we are going to end the video here. So if you like the video, hit the like button. If I've earned it, hit the subscribe button. And as always, be safe, be cool, and have fun. We'll catch you in the next one.